Brian, we are here. State basketball. I know I'm excited. Can you tell? Smile on my face. You excited?
Yeah, very excited.
All right,
can't wait.
We have 4 teams that made it for the girls' side. That's a pretty good for 29 teams we cover. 4 teams is pretty good. Last year we only had 1. They went all the way. Yeah. Kearney Catholic. They are back. But we have 3 other teams this year: Kearney Catholic, Ravenna, Elm Creek.
Yeah.
Who do you want to start with?
Let's start with Kearney. They pulled a shocker last Thursday and beat the number 2 team.
We were not expecting this at all.
And sorry, Coach Boyd, we thought you guys were going to get beat by Millard South. You guys did the impossible. It was more like a miracle. But, when Kearney's on, they're good. And when they're off, it's a hard thing to watch. But they are playing really good basketball. It's their defense. You talk about all 4 teams that made it, as I sent out a tweet last week about it. All 4 teams are number 1 through 4 in points allowed per game throughout the entire year. Another team is Kearney Catholic, the defending C1 champs, are back in it.
Wait, slow down the brakes really quick. Kearney is the 8th seed,
yes.
we do want to say. So
they're playing
we temper expectations just a little bit? I know they're coming off a crazy win. Are they any chance they could pull off a second big upset in a row?
Well, the one thing Boyd told me the other night was he said we have nothing to lose. I mean, we're the number 8 seed. We're playing the number 1 seed that is expected to win state. One of the teams that's favored to win it if they had any Vegas books out here. But Kearney's good at being the underdog. I mean, look at some of the teams they beat this year. I mean, you beat Millard South, you beat Lincoln Northeast, the team they're playing on Thursday. So anything's possible. It's just a matter of who's playing the hottest basketball at this point in the season.
Let's flip it over to our highest seed, Kearney Catholic. They're the 3 seed, which seems kind of crazy that you're undefeated with a 3 seed, but that just shows how loaded C1 is.
Yeah, and the one thing I find interesting is that they're playing the team that beat them in volleyball, that ended their dynasty in volleyball.
Yes. The 6th seed is matched up, against the 3 seed Kearney Catholic.
So Kearney Catholic, what they do to teams, and it's amazing because I've seen them for 2 years now, and you're looking at them, and it's like they don't skip a beat. They lose 2 of their best players from last year, and they insert 2 new girls into the starting lineup, and they just don't miss a beat.
Talent is there, obviously, but the leadership more than anything. They have 5 seniors that all start. They have more seniors on the bench, I should say, but 5 seniors all start. They've been there. They played last year. That is going to be a team that is going to be very tough to knock off.
Yeah, they are. And the one thing that I like about this team is they're playing as an underdog role too. I mean, the talk of the season before the start of the year was Lincoln Christian, and here you are as the defending C1 champs not getting any love. So they have that underdog mentality. They're going to go in and make some noise. I mean, if they beat Malcolm, they'll play Mitchell, and then hopefully make it to the state championship. If they run in the Lincoln Christian, they'll have a lot to prove, more so than any other team.
Moving on, Ravenna, They had a heartbreaker. They lost this past week. Luckily, they had such a strong regular season, it did not matter. They lost to St. Cecilia in the district final, but they make it to state as a 4 seed, and they're playing Flat St. Pat's.
That's
a little bit of a mouthful. North Platte St. Pat's, 21-3 on the year, is a good matchup for Ravenna, who I believe 21-4.
Yeah,
so they're very similar teams.
They're very similar. Yeah, they're very similar teams.
So Ravenna, what Coach Noah Malsby has to work with, he has obviously the 2 Fidelki sisters in the backcourt, very talented. Rebecca Nozika, Megan Meagerl. Those are 4 talented players right there, and that's how you kind of get to state. We'll see if those players can elevate their games in state.
Yeah, and the one thing that I like about this Ravenna team is that they are very tough-nosed. They've played Kearney Catholic to at least 6 or 7 points in the first game they played this season. They are battle-tested. They're young, so maybe their youth catches up with them. But the thing I like about them mostly is how they play on defense. When they're playing those teams that they should beat, or they're playing those good teams that may not necessarily have a good night, once they know that, it's like a shark. They smell blood in the water, they'll attack. And that's what they do best.
But now let's move on to our last team, number 5 seed, in D1, Elm Creek. They play North Central. Elm Creek is 23-2 right now, and they're playing fantastic.
Yeah, and they have had like a 9 live situation if you think about it.
I should say they're playing fantastic quarters 2 through 4.
Yeah.
First quarters, right now they're not playing so well
and they're playing good in triple overtime games as well. Sorry, Coach, if you're watching, but the one thing I like about this team is that they can rebound and they can shoot and they can defend. So there's 3 things really that they're really good at. North Central is a team that I don't know much about, so I can't really make a comment on them. But what I do know is Elm Creek, they're a team that can win a game. It comes down, to my opinion, to who wins the battle on the glass. And outside of the games against Kearney Catholic and Ravenna, Elm Creek has won the battle on the glass all season long.
I guess we'll have to see North Central, but I do feel pretty good putting my money on Claire Cornell being the best rebounder in the game. She does average nearly 12 rebounds per game, but except the role switched a little bit against Burwell in district championship. Allie Bauer, she was kind of doing some of the dirty work. Normally not quite her forte, but she was more inside, had 10 rebounds, 21 points. She has firepower. I'm feeling pretty good about Elm Creek heading into state tournament.
Yeah, and the one thing that you have to remember about 3 of these teams, none of them have been there before, outside of Kearney High in 2014. So only 2 players on that team know what it's like to play in a state tournament. Ravenna hasn't been with this group of girls that I'm not aware of.
They've made the state tournament 3 times in school history: 2004, 2006, 2009, I want to say, and they got either champion. They made it to the championship game all 3 times.
So is that an omen of things to come? You know, if it's I know
we're not saying that.
No, we're not saying that, but but the one thing that teams do need in this type of situation is that when a team doesn't have experience, how are they going to react to that?
You do have a point, because Elm Creek has not made the state tournament in 12 years. So obviously, these girls that are on the team now, not playing that.
Right, and it's just a matter if you get the right opponent, right draw. A lot of the teams that are in the state tournament were in the state tournament last year. Some of them even moved up a class too. So it's one of those things you have to look at. You're like, okay, these teams have been there. They know what they know what to expect. It's like when Kearney Catholic's been there 5 years in a row. They know what to expect. They know how to handle it. Kearney High, 2 of the girls on their team, Mariah Ross and Kelsey Clark, have been there. They know how to handle the situation. But for Ravenna and Elm Creek, first time, for them in 12 years, and the other one for 8. I mean, it may be a shell shock. You're playing in environments that you're not used to. But the one thing that they can hope to do is get on a quick run, make some defensive stops, and get a good win early.
I guess we will have to see. We will find out. Best of luck to all of our 4 teams on the girls' side in state tournament this week. We are excited to bring you coverage from Lincoln and see what happens. Thanks.